Peace and blessings. This is Jakim from the Hard Talk with Jakim show. Can't get enough of the Hard Talk with Jakim show? You can email us at btom6164@gmail.com. That's bthomp6164@gmail.com. Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Hard Talk with Jakim show. Peace and blessings. This is Jakim from the Hard Talk with Jakim show. Can't get enough of the Hard Talk with Jakim show? You can email us at btom6164@gmail.com. That's bthomp6164@gmail.com. Peace. All right. Peace and blessings, y'all. This is Jakim from the Hard Talk with Jakim show. Listen, this is a Thursday night. Yes, that's right. A Thursday night show. You know, we always do it on Fridays, but this week we're going to do Thursday night. So we're just waiting for our other guest, PR specialist, Jonathan Coleman, to come in. He's having a little bit of technical difficulty, but we still got our mailbag. And believe you me, we've got a lot to talk about that went on this week. Yeah, for everybody out there that wanted me to say anything about Kanye West and some of the things that he has been saying and some of the stuff that was on with Noriega's show, The Drunk, whatever. I probably will be saying something later on today, but I really wanted to get to our guest. But as soon as Jonathan Coleman gets in, we're going to kick it off. First, before we say anything for this week, peace and blessings to all of my people in Delaware, New Jersey, California, Georgia, Louisiana. Yes, in Georgia already early voting has started. Early voting has started and people are already out there voting. I see our brother Michael Harriet from the Grio and from the Root he already put on that he voted. If you live in Georgia, and I have my son is down in Georgia, y'all know that. If you live in Georgia, get out there and vote, man. Right now, you got a choice between the Reverend for Senate and you got Ronald McDonald, a.k.a. Herschel, a.k.a. Walker, Toy Cop. I mean, come on, y'all. And we ain't even talking about the Stacey Abrams thing. It's just, if it was me, I would be voting for me down there for governor, but I don't live in Georgia, so I can't write myself in. Get out there and vote, y'all. Please, get out there. The early voting has started. Listen, before we get Jonathan in, and it looks like he was going out and coming back in, let me just talk to y'all about some politics, because this show was not going to be about as much politics as I usually talk about, because we're talking about PR specialists. So I want you to go and get some popcorn, get your water, get your drinks or whatever. We're going to talk about PR. We're going to talk about influencers. We're going to talk about the social media thing. This is very important. It's a different landscape. It's a totally different landscape from 2010. So you may need to take some notes on this show. But before we move on, let's hear from this punk called J.D. Vance.
Just a few weeks ago in Youngstown, on the stage, Donald Trump said to J.D. Vance, "All you do is kiss my ass to get my support." After Trump took J.D. Vance's dignity from him on the stage in Youngstown, J.D. Vance got back up on stage and started shaking his hand, taking pictures, saying, "Hey, aren't we having a great time here tonight?" I don't know anybody I grew up with. I don't know anybody I went to high school with that would allow somebody to take their dignity like that and then get back up on stage.
Now, let me just say this. For the last, 6-7 years that we've been dealing with Trump and Trump supporters, Trump has been punking a lot of people. I mean, straight up punking them. Now, this guy, J.D. Vance, has definitely been punked. His opponent said he don't know anybody that would do that. Yeah, I do know that, and I'm from East New York. I'm from the projects, and I know people that would get punked for money or just to be close to people. Unfortunately, most of them, 99.9% of them, were never my friends. So, but I understand what he was saying, that people will do some of the strangest things for money. And in politics, they will get together with some of the strangest knuckleheads. Now, y'all all know, if you don't know, the prime minister in Britain has resigned. Now, let me show you how punked this lady was. She, 24 hours earlier in the parliament, said that she don't run away, she don't quit, she don't do all this thing. As her name is Liz Truss. And guess what she did? 24 hours later, punked out. Yes, inflation is big over there. And I'm going to talk to y'all, Robert Reich, who used to be in the Clinton administration. I think he was also in the Obama administration. Very smart man. He'll talk to y'all about inflation and tell you what inflation really is. A lot of us think that the government controls anything. That's just big business and profiteering, getting together, raising prices. But let me just talk about the Prime Minister of England. This is what's going on in England ever since Brexit. They have had nothing but chaos with that Boris fella, with this prime minister. With none of their stuff is working. They don't know how they're going to have the trade going with the EU. It's just a disaster. And when you hire people in political office just because they're popular and not because they're smart, this is what you got. That's what you got over there in England. You kept hiring, you kept electing, you kept putting in. And listen, I already know Liz Truss was never elected by the people. She was elected by the Conservative Party, but they knew she wasn't qualified. They knew she couldn't take the job. 45 days and already you resign? This is the shortest thing. But this is also what happens in our politics here in America. There is, in your state capital, in your state legislature, whether it be the Senate or the House of Representatives, you have a lot of unvetted, unqualified people that's supposed to be representing you. You have a whole bunch of them. Now, I'm going to tell you this, no matter what state you are in, where you live. In 2024, that election is going to expose all of them. If you are in politics right now, if you are a state rep right now, if you're a state senator right now, you should be scared of 2024, even if you're not up for a re-election. Because this that happened in 2020, that is continuing. This is just a continuation of 2020. The politics is going to get rougher. Listen to me. One of my favorite movies is Sicario. And one of my favorite actors is Benicio del Toro. I don't think he gets enough credit, man. Believe me, Benicio del Toro. But his character tells the young FBI agent, the naive young FBI agent played by Emily Blunt, tells her, you're going to have to get out of this place because this is now the land of the wolves. I'm telling you right now, if you're going into politics or you're already in politics right now, if you cannot handle this, it's only going to get worse. 2024, listen, I'm going to go into my crystal ball, go into my psychic thing. They're coming for you. And it doesn't matter how long you've been in that state legislative house. Doesn't matter how long that good old boy back room that you get the hand on the back saying that you're going to win this is over. Here in Delaware, and I'm going to talk about Delaware, the home of our president, Joe Biden, it's going to get even rougher. See, you over here in Delaware, you can almost get a state rep job. You could be a state representative or maybe a state senator with only $5,000 or even less, $3,000 of donations coming into your campaign finance. Those days are over. Those days are over. because big money is coming and they're going to find out every little thing that you do. All right, y'all, every little thing that you do. Oh, okay. So my boy Jonathan Coleman just sent me an email. Just sent me a message saying that they have an outage in his area. That's what happens in when we do remote. So I'm gonna have to take the whole show. So we're gonna put a pin in it and hold Jonathan Coleman. But we are gonna talk about some PR, and I'm gonna get to that. So again, listen. If you're in state office, if you're a city council person right now, if you're a county council person, I'm telling you, if you can't handle the heat, you're going to get out the kitchen. Because with all of these influencers now, with social media and with the monies that's coming into these campaigns now, no matter if you're just a state rep in Delaware, you're getting so much outside money. It's going to be ridiculous. They got to do something about campaign finance reform. Remember, the Supreme Court did that away with the Citizen United thing, and the floodgates are open. But I'm going to tell you this, and this is specifically to Delaware, New York, New Jersey, Maryland, East Coast, West Coast, and in the middle. If you are a state politician and you think you're going to have an easy run in 2024, I'm telling you now, it ain't going to happen. All your dirty secrets will come out. And this is what happens all the time. Now, somebody asked me the other day why I don't talk about sports. They noted that I'm 6'4.5". Hey, what's up? My cousin Vanessa watches all the time. Big shout out to my cousin Vanessa. Vanessa, I'm going to send you a T-shirt. The Hard Talk T-shirts. We got the new Hard Talk Show T-shirts. We're planning to go to fan base for subscription with the Trusted Truth. So I'm definitely going to send you one. All right, cuz. So what happens is that now in our politics, now it didn't start with Donald Trump. Stop thinking that it started with Donald Trump. It actually started 4 years before it's Donald Trump. It happened it happened during the last campaign with Obama. In fact, I even bring it back to Obama's campaign, that Obama, for a lot of y'all, came out of nowhere. A lot of y'all didn't know that senator from Illinois, that guy that was from Chicago, none of y'all didn't know about him. And he came out of nowhere. Even Jesse Jackson said some dumb stuff about him back in the day, but they made up and yada yada. But politics now in the United States have gotten old. Let me just show y'all something, y'all. All right. Looks like we got our brother Jonathan Coleman in. Can you hear me, brother? Can you hear me, brother? Unmute your mic. Yeah, so I unmuted you. So again, we're trying to bring Jonathan Coleman in to the let's see, I unmuted him and let's see. Unmute your mic.
I did. I don't know what's wrong.
Now you're good. Now you're good. Say hello to our audience, brother.
Hey, thank y'all for having me on the Hard Talk. I'm enjoying the program. Thank you. Shout out to all the Blacktopians that's tuning in. That's where I found out about the show, through Blacktopia, through my Blacktopia Facebook group.
Yes, and listen, since we had started talking about that, and we're going to get to it, let me give you an intro. Let me give him the proper introduction that he needs. Yeah, listen, my brothers and sisters. This is the Hard Talk with Jakim, and listen, our guest tonight is Mr. Jonathan Coleman, PR specialist. I think he was in Blog Talk, but more importantly, I love his page on his Facebook page called Blacktopia. If you're not on it, go on the Hard Talk with Jakim show and go make sure you also get on the Blacktopia. Peace and blessings. Let's welcome in our brother Jonathan Coleman. Come on in, brother.
Definitely. Thank you for the introduction. Love it. Yes.
Yeah, so we were just talking about, I was just talking about a little bit of politics. I'm getting ready to switch it up because tonight we're going to be talking about PR and PR work. We're going to be talking about influencers, why influencers are changing the whole gamut. why money changes things. That's why people like Kanye and Elon Musk can say the things that they can say, because money, when you got money and you got your own businesses, you can come out with stuff and don't care. We're going to talk about that. But before we get into it, I really want y'all to really listen to this one first. This is Ebony K. Williams, and I want you to, this is her take on a Chris Rock concert.
I had a very interesting weekend. It started by me attending the Chris Rock show by myself.
Okay.
I have been a lifelong Chris Rock comedy fan. For me, Chris Rock is done. Chris Rock was so clearly shucking and jiving.
Don't tell me that.
He was so clearly curtailing his bits for white claps. It was just full on, unapologetically anti-black.
Really?
This black ass man was sitting in this auditorium. Basically what he said was, I'm black, but I'm not a...
He said it in front of a room full of white people.
Right, and they were laughing their fucking asses off,
Yeah.
Dustin. I left halfway. I was disappointed. I was hungry. Let me just take my black ass on to Checkers. I left there thinking he needed to be slapped one more time. I didn't like the first slap. I thought it was just, whatever. But now I'm like, what the shit? Where's Big Willie when you need him?
All right, y'all. So that was Ebony K. Williams' take on the Chris Rock concert. And let me just say this. I'm not in defense of Chris Rock. I'm not against Chris Rock. I'm not for Chris Rock. But I think Chris Rock has been saying the same bits and been saying the same stuff for now 20-something years. So I'm not surprised by any of his stuff. But what do you think about that, Jonathan?
Oh yeah, I'm a little biased because I like Chris Rock. When Will Smith slapped him, I didn't like that he did that. But I do want to say that I'm like you. He's been doing that same material for a while. It's like you know what to expect. You know he's gonna say those kind of things in front of those audiences. He has that joke. I'm black, but I'm not the N-word.
Right.
And
he's been doing
like,
that for the longest.
Yeah, exactly. So I think even the white people in the audience, regardless of what they were, they've heard those things before. It's just Chris Rock.
The reason why I brought that up, and I'm gonna bring it to you because you're a PR specialist, public relations. What Chris Rock was doing 20 years ago is not going to be always flying the same way now, because what happens is, again, with influencers, and I've said this a while, and I'm going to play something of Molly McPherson, who's also a public relations stuff, and she's got something on James Corden. If you don't know who James Corden is, he did the Late Show on CBS, and he's going off. There's a whole bunch of stuff. But what's going down now is that people are peeping the stuff, and it's going viral against you. So maybe some of the same materials you was doing before. We're not talking about the Dave Chappelle, but some of the same materials you were doing before. You may have to curtail them unless you want that, unless you want the smoke. What do you say?
Yeah, I know you can't change the way people think. And when I say people, I'm not talking about the comedians or the entertainers. I'm talking about the general public. You can't, you can put out all the propaganda, you could put out all the publicity, do all that you want to, but people are still going to think and feel the way they're going to think and feel. And what's going on is this new generation, the Generation Z or the Zennials or whatever they call them. They're just the people who were born in the 90s and stuff like that. They're just now. When I say the 90s, people were born in 2000s, because the 90s,
right,
people who were born in the 90s, they're getting up there now. So the people who were born in the 2000s, they're just now stumbling across this stuff. Like even Jeffrey Dahmer, like we knew about Jeffrey Dahmer, but these kids now, they think it's new. They're like, oh, I never heard of Jeffrey Dahmer. So they're, just to tie it into what we're talking about, they're finding these jokes and stuff and these bits now, which was socially acceptable back then. And it flew back in the day, but now it's like they're listening to us like, whoa, that's crazy. Whoa. And I think that I hate to say it, I just think the society has gotten very sensitive,
I used to say that, Jonathan, that I just think that not so much sensitive in my view, and then only in my humble view, when we talk about censorship. And that's what we're talking about. That's basically what we're talking about. But people should have the right to
Yes.
spend their dollars with whoever they want to spend their dollars with, and say, I don't want to spend my dollars with you if you say X, Y, Z.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that as well.
You know, like I told I have put a post up about a week and a half ago that I will not be talking about Kanye. Don't ask me about him. I don't care, whatever. And all of the other social, here in Delaware, most people know me as a social civic advocate who ran for office, who also was a former law enforcement in New York and a United States veteran. But one of the things that they also know is that I'm a big proponent against censorship. I think you should have you should have the opinion to say, okay, I don't like Joe Rogan. I don't like when he used the N-word 1,000 times. But if the companies that are sponsoring him don't like it, then he censored himself. He didn't really get censored. You censored yourself.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Because people that they talk about free speech and stuff like that, and of course it's not illegal, but there's consequences. You know, if you're going to say what you're going to say, you have to be ready for the consequences. You know.
You see, that's why we have Jonathan here now. Jonathan, tell the folks where you're broadcasting from. What city you're broadcasting? State.
Yes, I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. And although I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, Blacktopia is all over the place. You know, we're even international.
You're absolutely right. Blacktopia is all over the place. Yeah, give me a shout out for Blacktopia again.
Oh yes, shout out to Blacktopia. You can go to the when you're on Facebook, you can go to the Blacktopia Facebook group. We also have a Blacktopia a Blacktopia mobile app that you could download from Amazon if you have an Android, or you can download from the Apple Store if you have an Apple or iDevice. And you could get information on people like Jakim and his program, and all types of people that are in Blacktopia. You could join. Download it. It's free. And another thing about Blacktopia, we're all about black business. We're all about keeping that dollar circulating among our community, because like you said earlier, the power is in the money. I know that, we as Democrats, you're Democrat, Jakim, right?
Yeah, I'm registered Democrat.
I'll say the same thing. I'm registered Democrat, but you know where we're at right now. With that. But a lot of us under the Democrat umbrella, I know we're socialist and this and that, but I hate to say we got to take a cue from the Republicans when it comes to the money. We got to be capitalists, because every time something goes wrong, we ask for funding, we do fundraisers, we ask people to donate. So yeah, it's about the money, regardless of however you try to split it. Money's not evil. Money's just an energy and a tool to use to get to what we need to. Yes, exactly.
That's one of the reasons why we broadcast here. If you know anything about Delaware, I'm in the beautiful African-American village of Dunleith. And I always say the People's Republic of Dunleith. But I will tell you this, here in Delaware, right where, again, Joe Biden area, we have so many 501c3s in Wilmington. In fact, Wilmington, Delaware is the 501c3 capital of the United States. And we've got so many 501c3s, and all of these people have their hands out for the begging bowl. They want the state reps to give them beg money. But nobody wants to create a business to offer services so that you can generate that money. I'm so tired of it. We had the last count. I could be stand to be corrected, but the last count that we had, 1.5 million 501c3s registered in the state of Delaware, mostly in Wilmington. Yet we have one of the worst educational systems in the country. But we're the begging bowl. Economics is important.
Mm-hmm. It is, and that's what we preach. Oh, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say just right quick, I just want to say we preach that in Blacktopia. I mean, it's hard getting people to follow it because they still think begging and then turn around and say money is evil. But we need more black businesses. We need to. I
Own
feel like
land.
we need to have our own cent. Say it again.
We need to own land.
Was it?
Own land.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you know it. We can go on. You know it.
Yes.
The
I
audience
tell you
know.
this. Just today I was in downtown Wilmington on Market Street, and anybody who knows the area, we're just a stone throw from Philadelphia. But I walked through downtown Wilmington, Market Street area, and which was about 6 blocks from 11th all the way down to 5th Street, and not one of those buildings, not one of those skyscrapers, not one of those credit card buildings or banks that we have here, not one of them is black owned. Not one. Not one.
Wow.
And I
Yes,
advise
and that.
anybody who watching this right now, I want you to go into your downtown area tomorrow or during the next week and just take a picture and take a video with your phone and look at all those buildings and ask yourself and find out some information. How many of those buildings are black owned? We've been here for over 400 years. Not one of those buildings are black owned. That's a shame.
Exactly. It's a shame.
Well, let me just change real quick. We're going to talk about a little bit about Molly PR. Now, a lot of people have a misconception of PR and publicists as being something that do crisis management. And I know that in PR work, y'all do some crisis management. Is that true, Jonathan?
That's true, but the way I mostly operate, I'm more proactive with my clients. I'm more about getting them more publicity as opposed to putting out fires. Because you're right. That's what people think when they think PR. Like we're just there to put out fires. When somebody says something stupid, we want to rebrand them, recreate their image, and things like that. And which I do, but I'm more on the proactive end of it. I want to get the image right even before you say anything stupid.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And have there been clients that came to you to do PR and you said, "Nah, this is going to be a headache. I can't take this person."
Oh man, I have not done. I don't actually find out until after the fact, honestly, because nobody, when they come to me, they never come to me with the fire I have to put out. They actually come to me polished, looking good, and it's like, oh, this will be easy. And then I find out it's kind of like when you're dating someone and you don't know what you're getting into, and then you find out they crazy later. That's how it is with some of the clients,
Yeah. I'll be the first one to tell you, you don't know nobody until you actually live with them and they're responsible for some. Yes. And I can see that about that clients and stuff like that. I know. I used to have, I still have an entertainment company. My brother messed it up. We're going to talk about that later. Blah, blah, blah. In New York City. And one of the things is I used to get people when my band was doing something or a group or vocalist I had, they would come to me and say, can you manage me? Can you do this for me? And I knew it just by the smell of it that they were going to be bad. And Lord knows 9 times out of 10. Whether it be a female vocalist and she got a jealous husband or boyfriend or just 1,000 kids and she's got to take care of the family and yet she's missing the gigs. I just knew it when I was in the game like that. I know you got to know some of it. There's some traits, some red flags that got to be coming up.
Oh yeah. I smell it too when I see it. But the thing about me is I'll offer different tiers of my services. So sometimes when I get those red flags, I talk to them and we sit down and have a conversation about what I'm going to do, the expectations, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes they really don't need me all the way. They need certain little things. They may need, for an example, they need to have more placements for maybe an album that's about to be released, and they want it featured on more blogs and more websites. Then boom, my services come in handy. But I get the same thing too. You already know it. Actually, it gets to the point like this. is um I actually don't follow up with clients who I think are like that. Like I'll follow up with them if you know, how you follow up with a lead. I just they don't talk to me, I won't talk to them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Well,
If I know it's something, you know.
well, I know it's different from us or different from me since I was, I put out albums and I've done stuff in the 80s and the 90s. And this has now changed where you have YouTube and you have Instagram and you have Gram and you got TikTok and all these other mechanisms to get it on. It almost seems, if I was in the game, if you didn't have all of that already, then I didn't think you would be serious about your craft and about this business. So when you meet a client and they don't have a Gram or a TikTok, do you look at them a little funny, or do you say, all right, this is some extra work I'm going to have to do?
Actually, you know what I did, like in the beginning. But the thing is, I would rather work with an artist who doesn't have those things, who knows they need them, as opposed to an artist that doesn't have those things and thinks he doesn't need them or thinks that it's not important. So when I fill them out, when we talk, when we have that little interview, that's when I realize, okay, this person realized they get it, but they just don't have their stuff together. They realize they need to get it together. They just don't have it together. So I'll work with those people. But if they're hard headed and go, I don't need that. I don't need social media. I don't need. That's a different monster.
All right. Well, listen, I want to make sure that we get this in there. Now, if they wanted to email you and I know you got Media Blast. If they wanted to email you, how would they get in contact with you, brother?
Yeah, you can email me at info@themediablast.net. That's info at themediablast.net. And you can also reach me on social media, Jonathan Coleman. If you're in Blacktopia, of course, you see my admin badge. You can inbox me directly. I'll answer inboxes. I'm cool with that. And Instagram too. You can reach out to me on Instagram. I know my Instagram's at the bottom here, I think. It's showing it on my end. I don't know if it shows on the universe. Okay,
yeah, it's showing over here.
Good. So okay, good. So reach out to me on Instagram. But I will say on Instagram, my habits are a little slow because I get so much spam. So I filter through that stuff. So if you make sure you hit me up and let me know you're serious. If you're on Instagram, hit me up.
Yes.
So I'll see you.
I definitely. All right. Looks like you got some other people here, man. Big shout out to Tanya Green. Big shout out to Belinda. Dare to be different, Houston. I like that. Belinda, dare to be Houston. Dare to be different, Houston. I love it. I got a question for you. If you're still on, Belinda, are you in Houston?
No, she's not.
All right. Well, she'll get back to us. Listen,
I know she's not.
Oh, she's not from.
Yeah, she's in Charlotte. She's in Gastonia, North Carolina. North Carolina. She's a humanitarian. The Queen City Dolls. She also has God's Gift Baby Ministry. She does a lot of things in the community. She gives baby clothes and baby toys and things to underprivileged children. Families that need it. She gets it out to them. And shout out to Tanya Green. That's my queen. And she actually works alongside with Miss Houston. Doll Hollywood is what they call her. And they do a lot of things in the community.
We're going to have Doll Hollywood on the Hard Talk with Jakim show. Now, listen, I'm going to let Jonathan get some water. We're going to listen to two videos real quick. One by Tupac, one by Deion Sanders, one by me. Listen, Tupac was saying something. I just wish our brother would have lived up to all the beautiful wisdom that he had. We'll be right back with the Hard Talk with Jakim show. Peace.
Be to yourself. Stay to yourself. Trust nobody. Trust nobody. After dog. You know what I mean? Straight up. My closest friends did me in. My closest friends, my homies, people who I done took care of their whole family. I done took care of everything for them, looked out for them, put them in the game, everything. Turned on me. But I'm a soldier. I always survive. I'll constantly come back. You know what I mean? Only thing that can kill me is death. That's the only thing that'll ever stop me is death. And even then, my music will live forever.
It is a shame for a man to grow old without seeing the beauty and strength of which his body is capable.
Coach, considering the static that did happen after this game today, is this further motivation for you and your team?
I don't need nobody to motivate me, dog. My mama working 2 jobs to make ends see each other was my motivation. You know, me being a great father, when one of my fathers was a drug addiction, a drug addict, and my other father was an alcoholic, that was my motivation. Seeing no one really come out of Fort Myers, Florida, that was my motivation. This? Oh, baby, you gotta get in line. I wake up motivated. I wake up trying to bless somebody, inspire somebody, encourage somebody, help somebody, motivate somebody, get somebody to the next level. Yeah. And somebody had the audacity to sit up here and say what I ain't. Well, baby, I know what I am. And I am a whole lot of things that a lot of folks would like to be. Oh, Brian, breathe.
Yeah, prime time. Deion Sanders preaching right there. So again, that was a question that was asked by a dumb reporter. And let me just say this: I give the mainstream media hell. We're part of the new independent black media, and I give mainstream. They got some reporters that ask some of the dumbest damn questions, and that was one of the dumb questions. They asked Deion Sanders about this little tip with this other coach. Does that motivate you? And Deion Sanders went in the whole thing. Motivate me? Oh, he said he wakes up motivated. That's how you have to be in our country as a black person throughout the black diaspora. There's no time for us to be sitting around moping or thinking about dumb things when we need to be getting our stuff together. What do you say about that, Brother Jonathan?
Oh yeah, there's so many things I want to say about the lack of motivation that our people have. I want to say this. I meet so many of our people who are okay with being okay. Like
Yes.
they want to, they want to work their little job that they hate. I mean, no disrespect. You got to feed your family, but they're just content with just being, I don't want to say mediocre, but just content with just being where they're at. And I've never been that way. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm a babble. So go ahead.
You're absolutely right. When I was in law enforcement, I used to hear the dumbest thing that I used to hear all the time from the old timers when I first got on, and they used to say, "Man, I just want to have enough to live comfortable." And I used to look at them like, "You are real stupid because you have no idea what the future holds. You don't know how much money it takes to live comfortably." And you have no idea what's going to happen in 20, 30, 40 years. You have no idea. And I think that comes from our people being told to be little, to be small all the time. And when you don't have to be, there's no other greater time in the world than right now that the little man can have so much power. We're going to talk about influences. But what do you say about that, Brother Jonathan?
Yes, today's comfortable wasn't yesterday's comfortable, and it's not going to be the future's comfortable. Anything could happen. I mean, I understand people saying they want enough just to. Well, I'm trying to understand it. Yeah, I mean, you know what? I don't really meet too many men. Now, I understand women. Women are going to be women, but men who don't want to conquer. Who don't want to own lands, who don't want to take over. That's what we did. We pillaged and we took over villages and took their women and burnt their stuff down. I mean, we can't do that now. There's laws, but there's other ways to do it. In a more business sense. And I don't understand it. I don't get it. Why so many men.
Well, Brother Jonathan, I think the Ding Dong Parade in our black communities that has been going on for so long, I am so glad that I'm starting to see a light. Because I told this to many people, and whether you've listened to Brother Kaba or not, my days of trying to convince people is over. I don't care about convincing anybody. If you know what I'm saying is works, let's get it on and let's build. Those days, if I can get out of 100 people, if 3 people get it, I'm good with that. We can do something.
Yes. You know what? Before I got on the program, there were some things I was going over in my head thinking, I think he might ask me this. So let me have something ready. So it was about Blacktopia. When I originally started Blacktopia, it was for the economic empowerment for our people. But so many people have this money is evil. We got the Money Mondays on Monday. I don't know if you've seen the Money Mondays.
I've seen it. Right.
Oh, yeah. They don't want to participate. They want to actually fight against me when I promote Money Mondays. So I said, you know what? What I'm going to do with Blacktopia is I'm going to make it just more of a platform for Black people, and I'm not going to push the economics part so hard. But I shout out to LaWanda K. I want to give her. She has the fall festival that's in Concord, North Carolina, this Saturday. Can I plug? Okay, good. On October 20th.
Sure.
Definitely. And LaWanda K is October 22nd. If you're in Concord, is it Kannapolis? No, Concord. October 22nd. Come out from 11 to 4. Hopefully Jakim, I could get the flyer over to him. He could put it out for y'all, for the listeners.
Sure.
But thank you. But the reason I plugged LaWanda is LaWanda's one of those who got what I was doing. Like, she was like, look, Jay, I know what you're trying to do. She pulled me over to the side. Look, we just get the ones you could get. Don't worry about everybody. Just the ones who get it, they get it. The ones who don't, just Blacktopia is entertainment.
There you go. You're absolutely right. And that's the way you got to do it. Yeah, definitely plug. We plug anything of the Black diaspora here. We don't care, because we got this type of thing in the Hard Talk with Jakim show, and on me, a lot of people who follow me on Instagram or TikTok at The Real Jakim, and that's at The Real Jakim, not the phony one, the real one. Because in fact, we got a little bit of time. I want to talk about copyright and trademarks and all that other stuff, because that's something that we're going to have to do. We're talking ownership right now with our brother Jonathan Coleman. We're talking ownership, which is important. Our people was told so much to be small in everything they do, and told that lie that money is the root of all evil. It's not money, it's jealousy is the root of all evil. Never was money. It was always jealousy. And that's how I believe. And if you need any more convincing, you shouldn't. If you need any more convincing, you better go pick up the book Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson. You better go pick it up. If you don't understand anything about this economic system in which we are in, you better pick up Powernomics by Claude Anderson. Now, before I get to the next one, let me just give you a little bit of what Molly McPherson said about James Corden. I don't know if y'all know what happened with James Corden, but we're going to talk about a little bit of PR real quick.
Ooh, the chickens have finally come home to roost on this guy, James Corden. And ironically, it was over an omelet. It was returning the omelet. Apparently there was egg in an egg white omelet. I don't even know how you would even notice that. Which put Keith McNally, famed New York City restaurateur, over the edge. And he put James Corden on full blast on Instagram. So definitely go to his account and check it out. So what does James Corden do when you have been called out for being something that many people who are even the most casual followers of blind items, or people who just kind of pick up on the nuances of gossip columns, something that we've known all along, that this guy's a real tool?
Now, I just did a little bit of it. Now, what happened was, and I'm going to give our reviewers out there, I'm going to give you the quick synopsis. What happened was James Corden goes into there and has an egg white omelet, and he sees a little yolk, so he sends it back to the kitchen. Unbeknownst to him, the restaurateur, Keith McNally, he's there. He said, hold on, don't be sending shit like how did egg white omelet, because there's a little yolk in it. Don't be sending that shit back here. And you know what? You're a knucklehead. And this guy, who is a multi-millionaire too, he's in the hundreds of millions of dollars. I think he's a billionaire. He got on Instagram and roasted this guy. And then when he roasted him, a whole bunch of people who worked for James Gordon, who worked on the Late Show and worked on it, they all jumped in. And people who worked on films jumped in. I mean, these people were verifiable people who actually worked for him, and they just talked about how bad this guy was a tool. Now, the one thing that he did do right, James Corden, is that he got on the phone with this guy and said, listen, man, I apologize. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have sent it back like that. I shouldn't have acted like a diva. It was my fault. He didn't respond on Instagram. He said, I'm going to call him. Unbeknownst to other people with PR problems, or they try to let it stay on the vine. And usually when you let it stay on the vine, it don't work. What do you say, Jonathan?
Man, there's many ways you could think of that. But if I was working with him, I mean, honestly, I would try to use. First of all, yeah, that's petty. You know, the egg thing is to be beefing over that. That's petty on its own. But if it was a fire I had to put out, I was calculating in my mind how I would spin it. But I would tell him I would kind of ride the wave with that, and then kind of flip it to my advantage. I don't exactly have the strategy all the way because I'm just not finding about it now. But
Right.
but yeah, that's why I would do something like that. Just try to kind of ride the wave, kind of make a funny moment out of it or something like that, so he doesn't lose his followers. But if people have been going in on James like that, that lets you know something. People don't really rock with him like that. He must be known for being petty. It's hard to clean up. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
No, I was gonna say it's hard to clean up stuff like that when they have the reputation.
You're absolutely right. And the great thing about it, that somebody in his camp did tell him, you better call this guy. You better do whatever you can to find this guy's number and call him up. And yet, again, this is the power of influencers now. Because Keith Manali he's not like me and you. I got no money compared to what he has. But the first thing he did was roast his ass on Instagram. He didn't care. He went to the same tools that me and you use. And he went to that same thing, and understanding that this is a brave new world now. And if I had a problem with you, probably other people. So now the James Corden brand may not be being healed, because I hear he's leaving the show, and maybe because CBS knows something. I don't know if they know anything. But he's leaving the show within a year. But this reminds me of the same thing that happened to Ellen DeGeneres. Ellen DeGeneres was going through the same thing in 2020. People were saying her producer was mad, was evil, and she said, I'm going to fire the producer, I'm going to leave. But then they came out that she was the actual diva. She was the overseer. So, brand... what they call that? Brand stability, brother, or what would you call? That is important.
It is, and when there's smoke, there's fire. And even regardless of them being public figures, you can't get anywhere in life. Even if you're not a public figure like Ellen DeGeneres and any of the other people. You just can't get anywhere in life just making all these beefs and problems with people. You got to treat people nice. I think people get in their head that being nice is weak and being mean is strong, but that's not. They're all mutually exclusive kind of things. You could be a strong person that's very nice, and you could be a very weak ass person who's very mean. And so I don't know what they're trying to project with that, but I think. I'm getting all caught up. I think when people see public figures doing that, they thinking that this is something that they need to do, and it influences them to be divas and treat people small and things like that. But at the end of the day, you're not going to get anywhere. And the same people you see on the way up, same people you see on the way down, and they're going to remember that. And one last thing I'm gonna say. I'll pass the mic. I know it's your show. I get to talking.
You're sure.
Is that with me? Say what now?
Sure. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. I want to say, with myself, I want to make people feel good. I want people to. if I was an evil person and went around and pissing people off, I had bad relationships, that would be bad for my clients. I wouldn't be able to get them anywhere. A lot of media outlets would be closed to me if I had a reputation of being an asshole myself. I know I say things in Blacktopia, or even when I'm hosting events, I could say something with my tongue, but I'm really I got love for people, and if you got love for people, they'll have love for you, and those doors will keep opening.
And I agree with you 100%, man. The way that these things get out now, and like I said, it's not that it's more, and that we're now a little. And I heard you say it earlier that we're more sensitive. No, I think it's now more obvious. I don't think that you can do those things and be covered up, and it don't necessarily have to go on post in the New York Post on page 6. Now somebody is able to sell it to TMZ. Somebody's able to sell it to. It almost reminds me of, and I don't talk a lot of sports here. I'm 6'5". I'm damn near 6'5", 6'4.5", and I played football, basketball, and baseball. And I don't talk sports on here, but I'm going to talk this one sport. When Draymond Green hit that young brother, and he hit him, and there was a video of a practice of them doing it. The video got leaked to TMZ Sports, and usually if something comes out in your camp is because somebody wants it out. I'm going to tell you that now. Anybody who knows this, and I'm here with a PR specialist, he'll agree with me. If something comes out in your camp, somebody in your camp wants that out. It doesn't get leaked, but your enemies don't find out about it because it just fly out the air. They find out about it because somebody's in your inner circle wants it out. So when it got leaked,
yes,
when it got leaked that Draymond hit this guy, it's one thing if they had a scuffle during a practice, but when you can see the video and he dropped the young boy. When the young boy was not trying to be the aggressor, when Draymond was aggressor, that hurt Draymond's brand. Now, I don't get Draymond may be doing, he's got a great podcast. I'm a big fan of his podcast. But when you see videos like that, those are hard to recover. And that's why I tell people, if you're one of my clients or anybody, even when you're out in the street, somebody's watching.
Exactly. And everybody in your inner, like Tupac said, you can't trust everybody. Even to the people in your inner circle, they'll turn on you.
Yeah, and that video that I just played of Tupac was actually on Rikers Island when he was arrested, when he was convicted of raping the girl that you see in all of his videos and pictures. That's in his inner circle. So I recognize the place. When I was on Rikers Island, I wasn't working with Tupac. He wasn't a maximum security for me, so I didn't have to work with him. But it's always your inner circle. It's always somebody inside. And when their video comes out, let's believe somebody wants it out that you put way too much trust in.
Oh yeah. I don't know if the listeners know about the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene.
Yes. We talked about this. Yeah.
Oh yes. I gotta brush up, but they talk about this in the 48 Laws of Power. You guys gotta. No, go ahead.
Yeah, brother. You go talk about some Machiavellian stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah, even with books like The Art of War and things like that, people talk about like racism and all stuff like that. Everything we're doing in life, this is chess, not checkers. Hello?
Yeah, you still here?
Jakim, you froze, or am I froze? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you froze.
I froze. Oh, okay. I was saying the 48 Laws of Power, The Art of War talks about stuff like this. Everything we doing, I'm just saying this is Jonathan Coleman. This is chess, not checkers. You got to be smart, even with the people you have in your circle, the people that you rock with. Everybody's not your friend.
And again, when you're absolutely right. I concur, and you'll hear me say that I concur. I concur with everything that you said right there. Not only that, what Tupac was trying to, I wish he'd have lived up and practiced what he preached in that, because when he got out, his inner circle got even more shadier, more grimier, more. I wish such a talent, but yes. You have to reevaluate your circle. And I don't care if they're family and friends, if they're family, that you still got to reevaluate your circle. I see what's going on with Puffy and Mace, and everybody's going on at each other. They were all family when in the 90s when that money was flowing. But now when the money ain't flowing to all the other people, now it's all, I want to get back at you. You was this, you a sucker, you blah, 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 blah. It's that's because you didn't vet these people in the beginning. I get people like Jonathan, and again, we're speaking to Jonathan Coleman here, PR specialist, Blacktopia. You know what, the blog, you have the talk radio. I love it. One of the things that I have to tell people all the time when they come to me and say, listen, Jakim, yo, brother, yo, can I rock with you, man? Yo, I can do this, whatever. And the first thing I ask is, again, and I've heard this many times, what do you do? Just because we're friends, just because I know you or you're an acquaintance or you're a family member, I'm still going to ask you, what do you do? And if you can't give me, he says, yo, man, I'll do whatever, man. I'll rock with, hold on, man. You got to bring some value to it. I just can't bring anybody in, even if you if you don't have value.
Exactly. People have to add value. You can't mess with a whole bunch of liabilities. You need assets in your life.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, I think what you call just said something too. She said, yes. Belinda, big shout out to you, Belinda. You're absolutely right. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're in any of this game, if you're in this business, if you're doing any of this stuff that we're doing, both Jonathan and I are doing, you better reevaluate who you're rocking with. You better take a very close and careful and look at them for what it is and not what you want it to be. The one thing I want to pass on to all the people that's listening and all that is ownership. And one of those ownerships is, I'm going to tell you right now, brothers and sisters, if you're putting out content on here, you need to get your stuff trademarked. You need to get it trademarked. You need copyrights, you need trademarks. And if you're selling stuff, you really do need to get an attorney, or if you have the time, because I damn sure don't. If you have the time, you can do it yourself, but trademark it. Because listen, just like Jonathan's right here, somebody's right now putting out Jonathan / Coleman / whatever. That's what they do. Same thing with the hard talk with Jakim, or they doing it. Get your stuff trademarked. What do you say, Jonathan?
And the forms are easy to get. I agree. A lot of people think this is harder than what it really is. You can get the forms on a lot of on the government sites and things like that. You download the PDF, print it out, do what you need to do, send your money to where it needs to go, and do what you need to do. It's not hard. It's really not hard.
Listen, Tanya Green said that's well said, and yes, and Belinda said, I have already found out. Belinda, you have already been somebody that already scammed it up. Yeah, welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. I mean, there is nothing out there that has a potential to be big or make money that somebody is saying, you know what, I like that, I'm going to take that. There's nothing out there. So you have to be looking at a defensive mode all the time. Proactive, but be defensive. Go get your stuff trademarked.
Exactly. And I also want to twist this a little bit too when it comes to like ideas. I sometimes I'll share ideas with people I think aren't supposed to be hearing it because But one thing I know is that nobody can execute it like me. They don't have the secret sauce. They ain't got the ingredients, but they got the idea. So yeah, take my idea. You ain't gonna make the same kind of money I'm gonna make off it, You just got the idea. You don't have the work.
You're absolutely right. Ideas are a dime a dozen. It's the execution that makes the difference. You can have people come, even when I was in the entertainment game like that, and I still in the entertainment game because I still DJ and I have a show that we do, Motown and more. But even in this game, ideas are a dime a dozen. Somebody would come to me and say, yo, I can't put it together, but I got a lot of ideas. And I always say to them, dude, I got my own ideas. Why in the hell would I need your ideas? Why would I need your ideas? If you can't put it together, if you can't do the execution, that's the source right there. It's not the idea. The ideas come out dime a dozen.
You're right. They're a cheap commodity, just like opinions sometimes. You know?
That's right.
Like buttholes.
You're absolutely right. I know we're just on the 1 hour mark, but since could you stay for another 5 minutes because since we got in a little late? Sure. So Belinda is loving all of this stuff. Peace out to your sister Belinda. You're over there in North Kakalaki. I love it in North Kakalaki. My people are from Jacksonville, North Carolina. So I got a lot of people that watch me from North Carolina as well. And we got some from Wilmington, North Carolina, too. So, one of the things also that I wanted to talk about before we get out of here is when we understand, we talked about earlier that Black people play too small of a role in a lot of things. One of the funniest things I think, we don't play small when it comes to entertainment. But we play small in our politics. We play small in our economics, very much small, because everybody else is getting paid and you're doing public works and you're not. One of the funniest things I've seen was this sister with her comedy. I'm going to give it to you real quick, but she means something in here with open your mouth. Black folk, y'all need to open your mouth. I'll be right back with the Hard Talk with Jakim.
I wasn't going to say nothing, but I'm tired of folk giving dumb advice on this app. I'm about to help somebody today. I think the most foolish thing that I've seen lately is a woman who don't ask for nothing deserve the world. No, she don't. No, she don't. She deserve exactly what she asking for, and that's nothing. She don't get exactly what she been asking for, and that's nothing, because ain't nobody out here got time to be reading your mind. Ain't nobody got time to be reading your mind. You ain't asking for nothing, you ain't going to get nothing. Because in the word it say you have not because you would ask not. And on the street it say a closed mouth don't get fed. You better open up your mouth today. You better open up your mouth today. I encourage you to start opening up your mouth on today and start asking. Hey. Yeah, I'm going to need that. I'm going to need a little something for my inconvenience. If I'm keeping your kids, I'm going to need $50. If you want me to take you somewhere, I'm going to need some gas money. Start opening up your mouth today. Because y'all open up everything else. You open up your house. You open up your legs. But you won't tell somebody that you in need. You have not because you asked not. Start asking.
Now, I have to clap on that because she does a great comedy. I will put it in the things if you ever want to go see her on TikTok. She does a great thing. But she's 100%. Open your mouth. Nobody's here to read your damn minds. Nobody here to figure out what you thinking. You need to open your mouth. A closed mouth is a closed destiny. That's what we say. What do you say, Brother Jonathan?
Oh, I totally agree. And you got to even not just opening your mouth to other people. Sometimes you got to open your mouth to what you want yourself. You have to, what do you want? What do you want out of life? What are your goals? What are your missions? You got to define that. You got to be proactive. If you want results, you got to be proactive. You got to play the game on offense, not play the game on defense. You got to defend yourself, but you can't play the entire game on defense.
You're not going to win championships if you're only doing defense. We always say you have to have an inside game and outside game. You've heard that 1,000 times. Yes, you got to have an inside game and outside game. And one of those is to open your doggone mouth. The squeaky wheel gets the oil. I don't know how many more metaphors we got to tell our folks this. Now, let me just say this, and to some of my people that's going to be watching this on YouTube in 24 hours, they wanted me to comment about the show East New York. All right, so let me just say this. If you know, there's a primetime show on Sundays now that's like 2 or 3 weeks called East New York. And I'm actually from East New York. I'm actually from the projects, Linden Houses. Big shout out to Linden Houses and all the projects around that part of Brooklyn. They wanted me to comment on it. And I'm going to say this about when network news of network shows get produced. They are produced by people who don't give two jacks about you. They don't give two jacks about this. The one good thing about that show that I saw, and I only saw one episode, the one good thing about that show is Jimmy Smits is in that show. Big shout outs to Jimmy Smits from LA Law. You may know him from New York Undercover. And Jimmy Smith is from my neighborhood. So he's actually from East New York. So he's actually from that area. He graduated from the same junior high school I graduated from. He went to the local junior high school, Thomas Jefferson. I will comment about that next week. I'm going to do my whole analysis after watching 3 weeks of it. I don't usually watch a lot of network television, but I'll do my commentary on that. Before we end up in here, is there anything that you want to tell the people or want the people to know before we wrap up tonight?
Yeah, I want to say one quick thing on the last thing about the mouth closed part. We talked about Democrats. We keep voting Democrat all the time. We don't ask for nothing. We don't ask for no tangibles. We don't even care what the politician's gonna do. We just brainwash and program this Democrat. Nope, we need to start asking for shit. We need to start holding our votes hostage. We need to start opening our mouths. So I just want to leave the follow with that. But also, if you're listening, if you want to join Blacktopia, it's on Facebook. I said you get the Blacktopia mobile app. It's on iTunes. If you have an Apple device, it's on Amazon.com. If you have an Android, also blacktopia.org. Go to the website. Blog Talk Radio, the digital meet and greet is coming back on blogtalkradio.com/podcasts on demand. And if you have a business, brand, product, service, whatever, and you need more publicity, you need me. You need some guy named Jay, you need Jonathan Coleman. So reach out to me, info@themediablast.net. Hit me up on Instagram at the bottom. Join us on Blacktopia. And Jakim, thank you for having me on the show. It's a pleasure. I know we were supposed to do this 2 months ago, but I'm glad. I'm glad we're on now.
Man, listen, man. Like what they say is it's going to be what it be, and that's exactly how it is. My brother, it was a pleasure to have you on here. And remember to go on to Blacktopia, and also make sure you click on to the Hard Talk with Jakim show. Listen, I'm going to tell you things that you don't want to hear. I'm going to tell you things that you may not want to hear, but it's going to be the truth. It ain't going to be no Alex Jones lying on people and getting over a $1 billion lawsuit. It ain't going to be like that girl who lied on Cardi B. I may not be a fan of Cardi B, but you can't lie on somebody and tell them that they had herpes and all that other stuff. Yeah, she going to have to pay. So, again, this is another medium. My last thing before we leave, the one warning I'm going to talk to all the people who make content out there, make sure your content is truthful, because what's going to happen is that these people, these stars, these people who got more money than you and more lawyers than you are going to sue you. You don't want to be like her, that she's over in Africa now trying to figure out how she going to pay Cardi B that, $3 million, $4 million thing. Stop lying.
Something like that. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's man, you got to tell the truth. So listen, I'm going to leave everybody here. Oh, let me see. We got one more comment. Tanya Green said, "Awesome show." Thank you, Tanya. Make sure you also watch the Hard Talk with Jakim show. We have awesome shows every week. Listen, I'm going to leave everybody here with a good one from two. Watch these 2 videos. One is from our great state senator in Pennsylvania, Miss Donna Bullock. She's a great over there. And the other one I'm going to leave you with is Brother Martin Luther King Jr. Peace and blessings to y'all. Y'all have a good one. This has been great time with Jonathan Coleman. Peace.
Because when I get on a plane, I don't expect the airline to tell me they have a few bad apples on the flight crew. Or when I go to the emergency room, I don't expect
the doctors to tell me there's a few bad apples working in the emergency room that day. And so the citizens of Pennsylvania do not expect from their law enforcement to have a few bad apples.
All we say to America is be true to what you said on paper. If I lived in China or even Russia or any totalitarian country, maybe I could understand some of these illegal injunctions. Maybe I could understand the denial of certain basic First Amendment privileges because they haven't committed themselves to that over that. But somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read